Yeah, it's called suikertuin, which is actually Dutch for sugar garden, which basically the thing I really love to create this kind of gardens. But they're starting to push more into like the abstract, and I think this project is an example of that, where basically I cleared out a weekend and a day, so like 4 or 5 days to create this whole thing, just kind of push myself and see how far I would get. I'm hoping to update it more and more into the future. And a friend of mine who's very good with audio is going to help me enhance it a bit further. So it is a work in progress, but I'm really happy that Raindance would be so kind to kind of help me promote it. What's the best way to enter it? I'm still not as skilled in VRchat as I should. Thanks. Yeah, it's yeah. I think some as well. Definitely you, Deirdre, and some others actually went on some tours that I did in Maranga, which I think probably a year ago. Maranga was really the first big standalone VR world that I built, and it was a lot of fun doing those tours and great getting feedback on it. Um, but it's still like I had this multiplayer plugin and I had to update it and it didn't work. So I think the multiplayer is broken. So now I'm really looking at VR chat for my future world building because it's just really something that I love doing so much. It's not necessarily for me to make any money with it. So I think that all my future VR building stuff is just going to be on VR chat or similar platforms because I don't have to worry about the development part of it, like making the keeping stuff up to date and making the multiplayer. Just focus on world building. Let's go for a little walk and feel free to ask me any questions, and I'll just ramble on a bit about what I made here. So yeah, this is actually the Maranga match. This is for the Raindance Festival last year. Maranga was nominated, and I realized at the very last minute that I needed an avatar, and I should actually have the avatar the way they are in Maranga. So that's basically a little mask you wear. So that's where it's from. Yeah. What do you mean the mask? This mask I'm wearing right now? Yeah, yeah, they were my masks. They were the Maranga masks. You could also pick them up, and they. So yeah, here I really built this world like in just like 4 or 5 days, and I really like to look at world building just like painting, but it's more than a painting. It's something you can actually kind of experience, but just to create an experience with color and light and not even like think about story or anything. That's really what gets my creative juices flowing these days. Just be very, yeah. So Yeah, absolutely. So Gravity Sketch, which is also a VR modeling tool, is really the thing I make everything in. And it's really allowed me to work super fast, especially with this kind of style where everything's a little whimsical, little, you know, things don't have to be super symmetrical. Actually, it's better if they're a little off, and I can make this stuff like super fast. Then I use Substance Painter to do materials, and then in Unity, of course, I do the rest, the lighting, putting the world together. But it's it's a pretty fast workflow that I've got down. And Gravity Sketch is actually super cool because they've enabled now a collab feature where you can actually be in Gravity Sketch with multiple people. And I've actually done a few workshops last week, and it's just perfect. I mean, if they could integrate that in Gravity Sketch, where we could just be like VR modeling stuff right here, we could then like directly put in the world. I mean, it's the future. I hope so. So I do it basically just in a collab room. So Gravity Sketch gives you the ability to invite certain people through email, and when you do, they open Gravity Sketch. They can directly jump into your collab room. So if you want to join a workshop, let me know or send me your email on like through VRchat DM or something, and I can add you to the collab room because I think I have infinite invites. So and I can give you a little workshop in Gravity Sketch if that's fun. Right. Oh, we could screen share it, for sure. The cool thing about VR is that you're really in there with me, and you have exactly the same menu and buttons. And it's, I had a friend in there, and I taught him just like 20 minutes of modeling. And he was like, it would have taken me like 4 hours and all the resistance in the world to learn this from the website. Not that the resources are bad, but it's just really not the way people learn. Like turning text into like physical. Things that you do. It's hard to explain. But I'm just gonna keep walking here. It's it's a fairly big world, but it hasn't been filled out yet completely. So I'm gonna add some assets and also like scatter them around more. And now the music is that's just Unity particles. So that's basically it looks like spheres, but actually it's just sprite circles. Um, you see them also coming from my mask, so it's a bit that effect. I also had in shelter in place, and it's fairly cheap. This whole world now stands at 150 megabytes, which is not a lot. It's definitely going to be more when I add all the other stuff in and the audio. Yeah, yeah. So this music track, it's still going to exist, but in a new, as I said, a friend is going to. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to touch the button. So a friend of mine is called. His name is Yelmore. He's going to help me with do more with the audio. But this just the track I made that I put in, and it's really kind of a long, couple of minutes long track where I put I think like 10 different pieces of music that are kind of randomized. So it's like it kind of functions like a wind chime. So we've got a lot of different instruments in there, and the timing is always like a bit random. Um, so it feels like I don't know how to explain it, but this is the kind of music that to me feels a little bit like nature, where it's very calming, but it's never the same. You know, the weird effect that one of the most calming things you can experience is looking into a campfire, but even though it's one of the most chaotic things you'll ever see, um, I kind of feel like that. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like that about nature. Thanks. Yeah, I think with music, I used to be in a band and also like do songwriting and stuff, but now I really think about music really more in terms of color, really kind of the way that I also think about this world creating stuff. Like everything's color. I'm not super interested in melodies or chords, or especially for this application, but just kind of what color do you see when you hear a sound? So here you kind of see the basic idea for the lighting of this space, where the idea I had was just the initial idea was to have a lake that would emit some kind of light. Um, and because I think lighting coming from the bottom is always something that triggers something in our brain. You know, like it's in a way it's kind of unnatural to see lighting come from the bottom up. You know, our brains are used to seeing sunlight, and when we you know, if you give a child a flashlight, it's going to hold it upside down to his face because that's spooky. You know, I think it's something to do with the fact that we've been telling stories around campfires for thousands of years, and that's kind of the effect. I mean, maybe I'm reading a little bit too much into it, but I like that lighting coming from the bottom. It has something, I don't know, something magical to it. Something can't really put my finger on it, but yeah. So that was kind of the basic idea of the lighting, and then I had to figure out how to do it because I actually wanted the light on the terrain, but light baking on the terrain can get really heavy, create very large light maps, and take very long. But I kind of found a balance with low resolution and then also painting in some lighting every now and then in the materials of the foliage. So it's kind of a blend of techniques. Yeah, I know. It's yeah, that definitely has a little bit of a little bit of goat. Yeah, it's just kind of like an airship. I really love to do these. They're a little bit inspired by Ian McHugh, which I don't know if you know him, but you've probably seen his work. He draws a lot of these ships that are kind of flying. Now, this one isn't flying, obviously, but it's a little bit in his style where he likes to add on a lot of like bolts and crooked little elements, little stairs, little elements. Yeah. Yeah, everything's made in Gravity Sketch, and especially those things where because it's not too straight. And for example, those ropes that I kind of low poly ropes that I modeled, that's the stuff that's so easy to do in Gravity Sketch. It would be virtually impossible for me to do on a flat screen because I really kind of just go in there and I rotate the object as I'm modeling the rope, you know, and I can really feel like if I need to make things like terrariums, I love to make terrariums. Then you have to make sure that things don't intersect, or that you have a plant that grows around, like wraps around another plant, that kind of stuff, wrapping around other stuff. That's really where VR modeling is the best because you're just in there in 3 dimensions. So you completely feel the yeah, and you know where the it's hard to explain, but you do know how big things are. So if you move your hand further away, you can perfectly predict where you're going to end up. Um, yeah, I can never imagine like going back to old school 3D modeling. I tried a while ago. I needed to recreate something in 3ds Max, and I was after 30 minutes. I was like, I don't remember how this works. I can, my brain is like, yeah, I'm done. Yeah. Maybe I don't know how long you want to walk, but we can. I got time, so let's just walk to this other side. I think actually you see that big head on the left. There's a there's actually a very long path there, kind of a labyrinth you end up in, but it's not. I haven't really done anything with it, so we won't go there now. But there's a kind of a labyrinth, and if you take all the right exits, you end up in kind of a little secluded space that I'm kind of working on. So I really like that kind of. Go ahead. Just that one. Yeah, there's yeah. Oh, I think I messed up. Let's hope we can still. Oh yeah, I put a collider. I put a collider in the water. Yeah, we should. Um, Sorry about that. Yeah, well, that's. I mean, you could go there, but they were really more a bit of backdrop stuff. So it's I you know what I'm really interested and fascinated by is like how Walt Disney built his theme parks because they're really about creating a sense of scale that's not really there. And that's really the same what a lot of game companies do with games. I saw this interview with the company that created Horizon Dawn. Uh, you know that game? It's a kind of big open world. Yeah, yeah, you're right, you're right. And the journalist was asking, like, how big is this world? And then the guy was like, well, we don't tell you because we don't want to spoil the illusion. So there is a certain like size that the world has, but they've added some tricks like forced perspective to make it bigger than that. So he didn't want to say. I thought that was funny, just because he liked the illusion that yeah, it just feels like an endless open world. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I mean the fun of VR is also kind of looking at more miniature stuff and dioramas. So this is not done yet, but I think want to put some key pieces here kind of together so you can see them at smaller scale, and maybe do even like a second version that's really small. I just really like that like dollhouse effect of VR. Yeah, yeah. The terrarium is it would be cool if maybe it's already possible, but if you could do that teleport and scale that you can do in the Museum of Other Realities, so because with the terrarium you could actually teleport inside of it, and then you become just as small as the terrarium. I don't know if you were able to try that out. That I mean, that's such a powerful for me. That's a very powerful feature. You can do a lot of cool things. So maybe I just need to find a programmer that can use Udon to kind of create that for me in your chat. Should make a note. Great. Yeah, that's a good tip. I need to get on that Discord. Yeah. Oh, great. Thanks. Thanks. Should we do a group selfie? Poe, you know how to do this, right? You got some fancy equipment for that, right? Yeah, yeah. Right, right. Yeah. Could could we do one thing? Could we do one a selfie before we leave? I think that'd be cool. Have a group selfie. Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, yeah. There's definitely a certain feel to the way you build in VR. There feels very organic. Yeah, Yeah, I don't take up too much space. Gee. All right, cool, cool. Shakutan. Yeah, Shakutan. Great, great, great. Nailed it. Yeah, cool, cool. I'll make sure to announce any updates. Yeah. Yeah, I just saw. Thanks, thanks. Mm, I haven't. Bravo. the red button. Oh, my biggest fear. Oh my god, what the hell? Hey, this was a reset. All right. Yeah, I have no idea. Yes, yes. This water shader is super sick. It's really interested for me to know who made that one. So cool. Cool, cool. No, it's still in the shop, unfortunately, but as long as I don't lose my head, I'll be fine for now. Trying my best.